Hello. We're going to talk about something that runs with a girl named Maxine. I have some information for y'all because yesterday I learned that my 32-year-old sister, who is perfectly fine and healthy, decided to hang out with this chick named Maxine. And me wanting to vomit, learning about this, I decided to go to the beach and receive a lot of information and figure out what the hell is going on. So here's the message I'm going to have for you. We're going to call this an alteration instead of that word that sounds like that chick Maxine. Okay, so here's how it all goes down. I've said this before multiple times, that every single thing that's going on right now is about ascension, is about hijacking our ascension, because the elite are extremely aware of everything going down in the world. They're not stupid, they're very smart. And so what they did is they created all of this at the divine design to try and prevent as many people as possible from ascending. The way that you prevent the people from ascending is you do everything you can in your power to close their consciousness so that they cannot expand their consciousness. That is the reason why all of the chemicals in our foods for so long have been calcifying our pineal gland, because what is the pineal gland? It opens our connection to source. How do we get our connection to source? Is through our crown chakra. What is the Spanish name for crown? This other word that is included with this girl named Maxine. Okay, think about this. So what this does is whenever you decide to do the alteration, it alters your DNA, alters the DNA of people to essentially dumb down their consciousness, to close their consciousness so that they cannot expand enough to realize the truth, so they cannot expand enough to unplug from the Matrix program. Because once we unplug from the Matrix program, then we begin to see all of the truths for the way that they are. So, what this has done is created this false situation, because what they do, what do we all know that happens? The people who create the dis-ease also create the cure. Why? Because it's all monetary value for the elite. So here's what's happening. When people decide to do this alteration, any bit of consciousness that they have expanded, it shuts it back down. Okay, now just like everything, all things can be undone. Nothing is permanent when it comes to our soul connection to our avatar. It's going to take a lot more work and a lot more effort, but luckily I'm here. That's what I'm here for, is to work with people and guide them through this, to get them through this alteration. Not everybody's going to choose Ascension. Not everybody's going to choose this path, and that's because of fear. The longer this fear-mongering goes on, the ones we love are going to be, they're going to fall victim to it, because what they did was they made it to where so many people have experienced this this created fear tactic. I don't want to use the word, but we all know what I'm talking about. Essentially the flu. They created this other flu. And it's touching really personally to a lot of people. For instance, my sister said she did what she needed to do because her grandmother got this flu and beat it, and so she thought she was doing her part. And I understand that people are going to be truly feeling like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing to help those that they love around them, so that they can prevent them from getting sick, because that is what they're told. And they're told that if they're not doing this alteration, that they're the ones at fault if someone in their family dies. It's fucked up. And I'm learning that no matter what we say or do, many of the people we love are still going to choose the alteration. They're going to choose it out of fear, and they're going to choose it out of really, truly believing in their closed consciousness mind that they're actually helping people. There's nothing we can do about this. However, it can be undone by a lot of integration. And that's essentially what I'm doing here, and I feel like I'm being really called to help people through that, essentially like an addiction, like they would come here and get the cleansing, the help that they need, and then being able, because what the alteration is doing is preventing your DNA from getting activated, because all of your dormant DNA, it's almost like you're taking the dormant DNA and creating more dormant DNA. It's like dumbing down society so that these people can truly stay in the lower dimensions, because in the lower dimensions are where the evil is fed, right? For those of us that have ascended out of those lower dimensions, we are not feeding the evil anymore. So to them, they've lost that connection. Okay, this is a beautiful thing, and this is why it's so important for us to not choose the alteration, because it's just harder for us to do the work to get our DNA activated. And another thing that is so important to understand is a lot of these people who think that they're sick, they're actually going through a DNA upgrade. And then as soon as they decide to do the alteration, all of that upgrade, all of that DNA activation that they did is essentially just a wash. It doesn't benefit them anymore. Now, here's the other thing that I learned that is actually peaceful, but can be hard for us to hear, is that for those that in this lifetime choose the alteration, they're going to have to come back, obviously, and redo their human journey. And the best thing is whenever they come back, okay, which is what is beautiful and should give us a peace of mind, when they come back in their next life, they're going to be born out of that curse of amnesia, out of that curse of the lower densities, because they're going to be born into Gaia, which is the higher dimensional mothership earth, right? So this is a really beautiful thing that we have to just accept and know that what we're doing, the work that we're doing for our generation, it is actually going to benefit our family whenever they come back around. So all of the work we're doing is not for nothing. It's very important that we know that. And so if you are one of those people who are unsure about the alteration, and you're feeling that level of guilt that's telling you if you don't do this, then people around you are going to suffer, that's part of the programming. You have to fight through that fear. You have to fight through that program. You have to understand that this is all about ascension. This is all about preventing us from ascending, because the more people that can stay in the lower density for longer, especially in this lifetime, because this is it. Once all of this cycles through, and the ones who choose lower density, they're going to be reborn into the higher density, and then this is the end for the evil. This is it. We won't be locked into that anymore, okay? This is it. This is why they're trying so hard to keep us locked down. I know this message is sensitive to so many people for multiple reasons. Maybe you've chosen the alteration, and maybe, or your family, someone in your family has chosen it, or you know that they are going to choose it. There is no end all with it. This is part of the human journey. This is part of all of the ascension, because regardless we will ascend, all of us. And it might not be in this lifetime for a lot of people. And this is what we've known is going to happen. This is what has been prophesied of the two timelines that are going to be living on Mothership Earth for a decent amount of time. The higher frequency and the lower frequency. The message is, please keep ascending. Please keep doing the work that you're doing for yourself, and then also for the generations, for your bloodline. Because if it does not come, if you don't see the highest frequency in all of your family in their current lifetime, they're going to come back into the work that you have done, into the higher frequency work that you have put in for your bloodline, for your generations, which is also benefiting the collective. Because what will happen is we will all ascend into the higher frequency. It's just going to seem like treading water almost, but it's a cycle. It's all going to cycle back around. We're cycling back around to the highest frequency available to us. This is the end of the lower densities. It's just not going to happen like this, because this is just so many cycles of staying in the lower density, okay? Please keep your higher frequency. It does make a difference. It makes a huge difference, and your family line is going to benefit from this. And I pray for all of us to have so much strength whenever we hear of this sad truth that someone in our family has chosen this alteration. Everything has a purpose, okay? This alteration may be for them sacrificing themselves in this current lifetime of theirs. It's going to benefit somehow, some way. I love you guys. I'll just keep you updated if I receive more information. Ciao.